Today I fucked up by talking about LGBTQ at the dinner table. Hey there, again. I'm 20, female, and a running joke in my mother's home is that I'm going to marry a woman. I visit between 2 to 4 times a month and somehow, every time I come by, my brother just has to make this joke and I don't really know why. My brother and I made dinner so we, plus my mother, could eat together when she got home. So the three of us are sitting at the table, making spring rolls and talking about random things. I asked my mother if there was anything interesting going on at her workplace. She said something about a coworker about to have a lavish wedding, which she is attending right now as I write this post. Then my brother, 15, asks if it's legal for women to marry each other. I tell him, America, yes. Germany, probably. Here, no. Of course that's when he says, that's probably why you want to go to Germany so much. And me, who stupidly decided to reply instead of just nodding, said, yes, German women are very beautiful. My mother barely glanced up and asked if I was gay. I said, no, and my brother said, yes, she is. But Mom, girls aren't gay, they're lesbian. Then I yelled, you literally tattled on me for talking to my boyfriend all night. What do you mean by lesbian? Referring to an incident 2 years ago. I'm translating this from Vietnamese to English by the way. It's after this point I don't remember the exact words that were said, but I guarantee this is the correct sequence of events. I told him there's a lot of things people can be, that's what LGBTQ, the acronym, is for, and I asked if he knew what the letters meant. He said, no, and waited for me to elaborate. This is something that's common at the dinner table, me telling him what something means or a random historical event because we love learning new things. Last week's topics. Constantinople, Native Americans, and what a nice name Bao Ai is because it sounds like Xiao Ai, little love. So, yes, I told him what each letter was. I finished the Q and circled back to B, bisexual, and I told him that I was attracted to people regardless of gender and that fit the description of bisexual and pansexual, but bisexuals tend to lean towards one gender over the other and it was pretty 50-50 for me. At this point, my mother had stopped eating but she hadn't reacted, so I hadn't noticed something was wrong. She has digestive issues, so she often paused in the middle of a meal. Then my brother asked specifically about the T and why it meant transgender instead of transsexual, unlike bisexual, pansexual, and asexual. Which was a great catch on his part. I was very impressed. I told him transgender was a broader term that those who were non-binary could comfortably use. It was at this point my mother lost it. She put her chopsticks down, or slammed them down I should say, and said she was tired and didn't want to hear that trash when she was eating. I asked her if she was homophobic, to which she said, no, so I asked if she simply looked down on them. She replied that regardless of what she felt, that topic was not appropriate for the dinner table and I was being rude by talking about sex during mealtime. Now she's acting super pissed every time she sees me. Not uncomfortable or disgusted because I'm pansexual, just pissed. I have no idea what her problem is, to be honest. I shouldn't have upset her, yeah, but I thought it was a neutral topic. I've never heard her say bad things about gay people before. She talks about anything and everything she has a problem with, like teenage pregnancy, people with dark skin, pyramid schemes, etc. So too long did not read. I talked about LGBT and now my mother won't speak to me. Yes, I know she's racist and have just figured out she's homophobic. We're all aware of this, so please don't say overly harsh things about my mother in the comments, bit. One of my frustrations with her reasoning, you weren't talking about sex. Imagine if you mentioned crushing on a guy and she said, OMG, stop talking about sex while I'm eating, it's weird. Your brother sounds like he was being naturally curious, well done for teaching him positively. Get a picture of a really butch woman in overalls and boots and claim it's your girlfriend who you're going to marry in Germany. Then marry her and live happily ever after. Just to clarify, bisexuals don't necessarily favor any gender over another, many are attracted to just whomever. So your mom can say horrible things about people with dark skin but we can't say any harsh things about her? Fuck your mom and her racism. And I just find it hilarious that you are surprised she's homophobic when she's already a racist piece of shit. I will never understand why people get upset about how others choose to live their lives.